What do I eat for breakfast? My eating habits, my appetite changes depending on where I'm at, how training's going. But this is typically what I eat for breakfast. Welcome to the show. I'm Carl Ragavan, Europe's original starting strength coach. This is breakfast. Let's get into it. This actually would be a lie to say this is my first meal, because I've been starting to have a little bit more oats again. So have one of these with a banana and some honey. I've been crushing that. So that's usually my first meal. The reason is because this meal takes me a while to kind of build up my appetite. If you don't know, I eat a lot of red meat. So this is breakfast, typical breakfast right here. I usually throw one of these guys in here too. So a little bit of fiber. Because I'm in Scotland, you know I gotta add a wee bit of black pudding. Don't hate protein. Kind of like how I did with the rice. Whack this in the microwave for 2-3 minutes. I don't really care if it's not piping hot. This is gonna be at the bottom of the bowl. It'll be fine. Dishwasher is clean. Look at that. Domestic goddess, eh? Yep. Clean bowl. Clean bowels. This microwave pack is so easy. I just throw it in there so no water or whatever spills on the old microwave. Just steams in the bag. 2-3 minutes, if that. Sometimes we have to wash our dishes, which is very annoying if you've had to live somewhere for a long period of time and you're accustomed to a dishwasher. It's one of those privilege problems, right? But I've been on a 5% kick for quite a minute now. So yeah. Oh, you're not going anywhere. Again, a rough seasoning with the old salty salt. Remember, you can usually season with salt a little bit more when it's raw. Don't go too crazy over salting, but I mean, salt is life. Look at this, multitasking. Got my wee black pudding. Oh yeah, cha. With a few oats, bits and pieces. It says beef fat, even more delicious. Recycle this. But yeah, I guess when I think of, oh shut up. When I think of food and what I need to eat, obviously I enjoy food for life You know, if you can't enjoy food, I feel sad for you. But I feel like sometimes eating well can be a bit exhausting, and trying to be a bit too perfect. And I feel like having a routine to kind of offset the brain calories of like, what am I going to eat today? If you have a little bit more of a routine of like, beef is my breakfast or whatever it is, and then chicken or another beef meal, and you got snacks, like, you know, instead of having crisps around, you know, having snacks which you know aren't too bad for you, just a bit of carbs, little pretzel thing like this, you know, having stuff like that to kind of help you to stop thinking about it. So I have a grocery list on my phone where whenever I go in to supermarket, I'm always just buying the same shit. Occasionally, yes, I'm gonna buy a pack of prawn cocktail or whatever, right? We love crisps in this house, so they don't last long. Another thing, because we're living in Scotland, we love this bakery that I've renamed Lanang, and they had some banging Jaffa cakes. Obviously, Caroline has got the urge for some Jaffa cakes. I haven't crushed these. See, there's a whole sleeve here that clearly she had a sleeve without me. Sneaky. But yeah, Lanang, I don't know what it's called, but we call it Lanang. So, beef is pretty much cooked. It's just ground beef. I'm gonna whack that in the bowl. This pack of veg is so simple. I just tear this off. I'm just gonna, literally, this is a little hack I've learned. I'll actually just put all my veggies at the bottom. Those of you who don't know, you know, fiber is very filling. Obviously, I do want to eat fiber, right? But at the same time, I don't want to have to have eaten all the vegetables and maybe have left protein on the table. So I layer this like so. I put the beef on top. Again, this is like a 500 gram pack of beef from Tesco. It's one of them sad things in life where I'm a Tesco club card holder. You get no savings. Ground beef is ground beef. All right, I'm gonna chop up this wee black pudding. Oh yeah, this is delish. Occasionally, you know, I'll also just eat this meal with no black pudding, but I didn't want to lie to you guys. I love this. I love black pudding. So again, I won't need any fat. If you are a fan of Gordon Ramsay, he always says if you're cooking with fat, you don't need to add fat. So, little tip there for you. While that is going, I might even just do the dishes as well, because I am a domestic goddess, as they say. So yeah, back to my point. I was discussing things about making daily decisions every day to like figure out what you're gonna eat. And I think a lot of people can get a bit overwhelmed with thinking they need a perfect balanced diet with, you know, 12, 15, 25 different recipes. And I think that's just exhausting unless you have a private cook, the chef. You know, realistically, most people, it's kind of like clothes as well. Most people are gonna wear 6 or 12 different items in their whole wardrobe. I feel the same way about food. I think on a weekly, bi-weekly schedule, most people eat roughly the same things, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you can, do better occasionally. Sometimes if you're in a country which has better quality fish or this or that, or you're in Italy, so pasta and all these kind of things, it's just, yeah, then fine. But most of the time, that's why I like to say, like, have a protein target, because roughly, 200 grams for a dude, you're kind of on track. So, and for me, roughly, a big pack of beef, or 600 grams of chicken or whatever it is, that covers my protein. Obviously, I do have a few other little snacks during the day. I have a protein shake after training, usually with some fruit, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I just have to set it and forget it. I don't have to think so much about my daily food. Obviously, me and Caroline, we make some more exciting stuff. I'll show you carbonara. We've been smashing that a lot for like fun dinners where we just have a chilled day, make some carbonara. That's really nice. But yeah, my general meals are like a beef meal, maybe even 2 for breakfast and dinner, and then I'll have snacks in between. But as long as I'm having my 2 solid protein meals, I'm happy. Yeah, and it's been working. So yeah, I think there is this overwhelming sense of if your diet plan isn't perfect, you can feel a bit defeated and not want to kind of even attempt it. So, but just making simple choices, right? And the first one I always talk about is 200 grams of protein for a male. So you want to strive to that. If you eat it in 3 meals, 4 meals, 2 meals, whatever. But we need to start there. We need at least 200 grams of protein, right? Manipulating carbs and fats, that's a different story. 9 times out of 10, it's easier for people to just cut out carbs. I'm not saying it's the best choice or the only one, but for whatever reason, in daily life, people can identify what is carbohydrates quite simply. Fats is the trickier one. They're also the tasty one and the more high calories. So it's harder to be strict on fat intake because it's in so many things. So, and basically what happens when you start being more controlling with your fats, there's usually no escaping prepping and being a lot more aware of what's going on. So if you're lower fat, you're going to have a little bit more of a controlled Tupperware life. That's how I think about it. Condiments. Put a bit of mustard, a little bit of hot sauce. There we go. Again, I don't know if any of you know this, but this kind of mustard, most mustards, obviously like the honey sweet mustards, obviously got a lot more sugar, but if you look at the macros of this particular mustard, it's basically, you're laughing, there's no calories in this. Same with the red hot, So what happens, this is like the first round of sauce. I might even do another 2 rounds of putting the sauce. Sometimes I might break up the black pudding and mix that in there. And recently, again, I've just been eating it separate like that. Yeah, and sometimes I skip the black pudding altogether. That does vary, but this is kind of typical of my breakfast right now. If you like this show, comment, like, share, subscribe. You know the business. I'm Carl Ragavan. That was Beautiful Strength. Remember, the barbell never lies.